Get to the morning every day. Every morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jody and Hazy on Nova.
Hot rodent men. Hot rodent men are the new Hollywood heartthrobs. That's what they're saying. Hot rodent men, or, if you like, sexy rat boyfriends, are male celebrities whose physical features mirror that of rodents, such as pronounced ears or small, beady eyes. While many would be offended to be labelled a sexy rat, the title is intended to be complimentary, with people online fawning after the rodent men. Go, sexy rat people.
Okay. This is very confusing to me.
I think we're in the same. I think we agree on this, Joe.
Well, you're not a sexy rodent.
No, I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about the type of men that you and me are into, you know?
No, you don't definitely fall into that category. I think you're too masculine for that. That's a compliment.
Well, that feels like a compliment.
Well, don't look so bewildered and surprised.
I'm always, on these sorts of conversations, I'm always confused. You know that.
Yeah. Our producer Zoe joins us now. You've got some examples of sexy rodents.
This is my forte.
I have to say, you are heavy into this.
I'm heavy into sexy rodents, for sure. Absolutely my type. Bit of a history lesson on the sexy rodent, by the way.
Yep.
Do you guys remember the movie Flushed Away? The cartoon rat that gets flushed down the loo?
Oh,
yes.
This is where the sexy rodent started. People thought he was hot. Roddy, the rat cartoon. People were like, ooh, not bad for a cartoon. Anyway, everyone thought that was crazy. But now, in recent times, all these sexy rodent men are coming forward.
Okay.
And it's changing the way we see things. A top example that's been big for a couple of years now, Timothy Chalamet.
Oh,
You guys know Timothy? Like,
he was in Willy Wonka.
Yes, he was. Skinny, scrawny, slightly malnourished looking, brown hair.
Bit of a sharp nose.
Sharp,
could take your eye out if you're not careful.
After the cheese, etc. And then you've got other ones, similar vein, slightly different. Jeremy Allen White.
Oh, yes.
Who is there he is, that's him.
Yep.
From The Bear
Yeah.
and Shameless.
I remember him from Shameless, but he wasn't skinny rodent then. He was a bit more jacked.
This is where the beady eyes come in. Small eyes close together.
Okay.
Jeremy Allen White, also one of the sexiest people on the planet.
Did you know that beady eyes were sexy?
No, absolutely, I did.
Oh, you did?
You did.
I've always said this, Jones. I think it's on my bio on Instagram, the beadier the better. 100%.
And then in less beady but still ratty form, we've got the likes of Pete Davidson from SNL, you know, the kind of grungy sewer-looking type. He's still hot.
That guy looks like he could be from a sewer. Oh, that's so sexy.
No, he's still hot. It's an appeal. I don't know how to explain it.
He's a bit sexy because he's funny, but also he's been out with some incredible
so many
women,
supermodels. Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
They were serious. He had Kim tattooed on his neck.
Yep.
Anyway, and then one that you guys, because I know you love this show, Succession, Kieran Culkin. He's a sexy rodent. I personally don't find him sexy, but he looks like a rodent.
Which one's Kieran Culkin?
He's got some ratty features.
Is he the... Oh, I know.
The young troubled brother. But
Talks a lot.
Talks a lot.
I wouldn't say hot.
But he's a rodent.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's the type.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So I just don't understand. It just sort of feels like right now everybody's got a chance.
Oh, God, yeah. But it's like we've talked about this before, hot, ugly and ugly hot.
Yeah.
These boys are ugly hot. So there's like something about them that's a little bit ugly that makes them attractive. Whereas like your hot uglies are like your Channing. Like Channing Tatum is hot ugly because he's got the typical big muscly hot blower, but he's kind of ugly. Then you've got Timothy and Kieran and everyone.
I'm gonna have to hold you up.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to hold you up right there. Channing Tatum is hot ugly.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Are you joking?
No, well done to you, Zoe, because for the first time in the history of people constructing sentences, Magic Mike and Channing Tatum, the word ugly has been in the same sentence.
That's ridiculous.
Hey, producer Emma's backing me up in the background. He is hot ugly. New, what's in, what you want to be is an ugly rodent. That is how you get women.
0400 919 919. A, do you just subscribe to this ridiculous notion that rats are attractive? And B, do you have a hot rodent crush?
Yeah,
everyone
hot
does.
Crush. What about this, Chase? Can we just throw it a little bit old school? Not too old school, but recent times. But formal football. When I think of good-looking blokes and I think of footballers,
This would be good.
Do you know who I think of? Scott Thompson back in the day.
Scotty's pretty hot.
Scotty Thompson back in the day. And also Tony Modra back in the day.
Do you know who's a footy player who's a hot rodent?
Who?
Raz, Orazio Fantasia.
So sorry, Raz.
I say it with love. I say it with
We love you, Orazio. Did you just call him Orazio? Oh, my God. Jotes, let's talk toxic masculinity.
Please.
It is definitely doing the rounds at the minute. The definition is by adherence to traditional male gender roles that consequently stigmatise and limit the emotions boys and men may comfortably express while elevating other emotions such as anger.
Right, so that's essentially saying that men want women in traditional roles. Is that right?
Well, potentially, yes.
Okay.
I think so. There's I sort of feel like that is the definition, but there's all sorts of different avenues and categories.
Well, it's a mess for young boys at the moment who are getting sent all sorts of toxic messages from other men about how they should behave and what being a man means.
Yes, and at the top of it, in terms of someone who these young blokes are looking at, is Andrew Tate. So Andrew Tate, I think he's a former kickboxer.
Yeah.
But basically now he is a prominent figure on social media and it's bigotry. So he is the pin-up boy for bigotry.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's cool and trendy to follow some of his ideologies, which is absolutely disgusting because he's a drip of a bloke.
It makes me feel sick. So he basically admits that he's a sexist, he's a misogynist, and it is his role as the man to provide for the family and protect women from the outside world.
Yeah.
Like we don't have a choice in that.
Which, if you break it down, it absolutely makes women seem like objects.
Yeah.
Like it's an object for a man because a man does what needs to be done and a woman is a little side object, which is just, yeah. But unfortunately, we can sit here and talk about that and how bad it is, but the younger generation coming through sees this as somewhat that he is a role model.
I know, it's horrifying.
It's scary, isn't it?
Do you know, you said it can be a bit confusing. I have a few thoughts on what toxic masculinity is. And I'll break it down into dot points because I think, to me, it's pretty obvious. Like, to me, it's pretty clear. So if you think you are better or superior to a woman because you have a penis, that's toxic masculinity. If you like to call girls words like the B word or S words or the worst word on the planet, that is toxic masculinity. If you like to make yourself feel better by putting down the woman that you profess to love, that's toxic masculinity. It all seems pretty basic to me. If you like to blame women for your problems rather than doing the work on yourself and your own behaviours, that's toxic masculinity. If you like to think you have the right to decide if a woman works or if she stays at home or if she does a combination of both, that's toxic masculinity. I don't understand why this seems so confusing to people.
13, 24, 10, it's really scary to think that some of the younger males coming through would subscribe to some of these ideologies. 13, 24, 10, what are you doing to combat this with your kids? And our question for you, where does the education come from? Whose job is it to make sure that these young boys are on the right path?
We all know that. It's parents.
It's parents.
It's not up to teachers at school.
I still think that teachers definitely have a role.
Oh, absolutely. But the problem that we're having at the moment is that teachers are being vilified and teachers are being subject to it. Like stories about boys walking up to teachers and dropping their iPads while they're video living up their skirts. Boys running at teachers in the corridor and then veering off at the last minute to intimidate them. These are all the behaviours that are presenting. So we would love to hear from you if you've seen it, how you're combating it with your kids. If you're a teacher, if you've been subject to it, 13 24 10, please get involved in the conversation.
It is to me just quite quickly just say it's the teachers as well. Like that's a lot of responsibility and there's so much responsibility that comes with being a teacher, we know that. But I'm just thinking about as well maybe some of the kids who don't have not just a male role model in terms of a parent, but not even a stable parent coming through. So they're the ones, I can imagine, they're the ones who almost are looking for some sort of role model and unfortunately, they stumble upon people like Andrew Tate, which is just a shame.
And the problem is that he subscribes to health and fitness and, you know, you should drink more water and you need to look after your woman and you need to be a good man, etc. He's also been done for human trafficking.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, people don't talk about that as much as they probably should.
No.
Like, let's be honest.
They definitely do not. So this is, make no mistake, this is not a good dude.
No, he's an absolute drip of a human. 13, 24, 10, parents out there, because it's just it's a really serious element to be concerned about. What are you doing to combat this with your kids? Because it feels like, for me, it's something that really needs to be nipped in the bud really early. Because I think of when I was young and some of the things that my dad really, really drilled into me in terms of this space. And they're there. And it's such I reckon when you're from the age of about 5 to 10 is when you can really start to drill in some of those ideologies that will stay there for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Let's go to Chantel. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good. You've got girls?
I do. I've got 2 girls.
Yep.
And I can tell you now, this infuriates me that this is a conversation that we're still
I
having
know.
today.
Yep.
And I, as a mother, teach my girls that you never rely on a man to support you financially. You earn your own income.
Yep.
And, like, my partner does the dishes and does the washing and cooks dinner. So we represent an equal household, and I make sure my girls know that's the standard that you need to be going for.
Oh, I love that.
No man is superior to you.
That's so good, Chantel. I'm so glad that's what you're teaching your young girls. And this is the thing that infuriates me about this Andrew Tate guy is he's encouraging men to be the breadwinners, right? So women not to have any financial independence. But then the upshot of that is what happens if you're stuck in a violent relationship? You got nowhere to go. You are literally stuck because you have no money to escape that situation. And it's a situation that he's perpetuating by encouraging men to be superior to women and treat them as less than.
I just think it feels like as well a situation like that where this sort of seems like something that would have happened maybe 50, 60 years ago. And you can't get your head around the fact that it's 2024 and almost like something like this has done almost a full circle. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Stacey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. You've got a son.
I do. I'm a single mum to a 7-year-old boy. He comes home from school, and if he's had a rough day, I tell him, you're allowed to feel sad. If you want to cry and you don't know why, that's fine. I'll sit here and I'll cuddle you until you're ready to talk.
Aww.
If you're ready to talk.
Yeah.
He doesn't always find the words to what he has to say, but he gets his emotions out.
Yeah. And why do you think that's so important, Stacey?
Because I don't agree with men don't have emotions. Like, we've all got emotions. We're human.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be forced to hide them just to look tough. Like, I've been doing single mum, like single full-time working full-time mum for 3 years now, and like it's hard. And he's going to see me break down. He's going to see that, so he needs to know that it is okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Stacey. Really appreciate that. You're doing this challenge for mental health this month, the push-up challenge as well, for that very reason, because men have been told for years and years and years you're not allowed to show your emotions.
Yeah. I'm in the same situation now with a 6-year-old where, and it feels like it's a boy thing because sometimes you pick him up from school and you're just getting one-word answers. So if that's a bit of a trait for toxic masculinity as well, and that is to hide those sorts of emotions because it doesn't seem manly. It's quite the opposite now. I would hope that it's flipping around in a direction where it's actually quite manly to be able to express yourself and show your emotions.
Brave. It's brave to say that you're not okay and that you're hurting and that you need help.
Yeah, 100%.
Donna, you're a youth worker.
Howdy, yes, I'm a youth worker and parent and a tutor.
Yes.
So
right.
I hang out with young children a lot for every day. So, yeah, I really think that, when you're in a position of where you're, being around younger generation, that they look at you for advice and guidance, and just giving them the, positive advice is the, good. I can't talk, I'm a bit nervous.
No, you're fine, Donna. And so do you think that they know this bloke is wrong and they're just like looking for reinforcement from you?
Absolutely, I think they do. Like, my son, he'll come up to me and he'll try to, rev me up. Oh, Andrew Tate's cool, Andrew Tate's this and whatever. And I just, I know you don't really believe that, mate. And, we'll have a conversation together and, just reinforce that, it's not the correct way to think, and that, he's really just, not just Andrew Tate, but there are other people out there that try to reinforce, bad behaviours, and that they're just looking for guidance for, that they have to carry on with the right way.
So, Donna, this is important. You mentioned you just have a conversation. If what it sounds like, your son is trying to almost test you
Get a rise.
in this situation. But how do you handle yourself? I mean, do you brush it off? Because I remember when I was young, and there was some controversial figures. They were nowhere near as controversial as Andrew Tate. But when my dad and my mum would react quite angrily, it almost, as a youth, in a rebellious way, would make you like them even more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not really with teenagers, because I think if teenagers approach a conversation with you about something important like this, they're trying to connect with you in that way that they're trying to, make a joke of it, but that's their way of connecting. So I think when they come to you about something like this, it's important to not brush it off, but to actually, bring up the conversation and maybe have a bit of a joke back or whatever, but to be able to, connect with them, and that's their way of connecting, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Donna. We really appreciate your advice in this space. Kendall, you've got a 16-year-old.
Yeah, I just rang earlier just to discuss my son, Hayden, who's 16. In the past, it's been a bit of an issue. I would say at least a year ago. Now he's obviously a bit more mature and has actually finally listened to us about our opinions on Andrew Tate. But in the past, he's just listened to him and, he's so cool, Mum, he's so rich. Look what he's done with his businesses. He's made, all this money. And I'm like, you've got to be joking.
Yeah.
There is no way this guy is a decent human being. So he would say, just listen to him. You can't judge without listening to some of his interviews. And so I did. My husband and I sat down and we watched and listened to some of the interviews that he did. And I said, no, he is a misogynist. He's sexist. He goes, but that's what he says. That's what he just wants, to get a bit of a bite out of people. And it's like, no, he's actually, this is where obviously he was a bit younger and a bit more impressionable. But now, thank goodness, we've gotten past it. And he actually does realise this guy is, probably no good. But it's unbelievable the power of YouTube. And, we don't realise what our children are watching half the time unless we actually sit and have a look what they're doing and then discuss these problems. But I really think the Andrew Tate is a huge problem with young boys, definitely.
Well, also, Kendall, it's a good way to negate the Andrew Tate argument is to point out that he's been charged with rape in Romania, human trafficking, and forming an organised crime group to sexually exploit women. So,
Exactly, exactly. And I've discussed that with him. That was one of the first things I said. I said, he is up for rape charges. He's made all these pornography videos. And he goes, but he hasn't actually been charged. That may not be true.
They're hard work, aren't they?
It was a full-on debate, and it took me, I reckon, at least a year or 6 months to actually convince him. But we've got to a point where he, as they get older and they listen, they do listen, even if they act like they don't.
True.
I think they do. So eventually we can kind of convince them, but it took a while.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And some patience too, Kendall. Well done. Thank you so much for your call. We really appreciate it this morning.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who's got in touch with us. And I suppose it is a conversation that will continue happening, and toxic masculinity, what exactly it is and how you combat it as parents. For daughters and sons, not just sons, but for daughters, what to look out for. And I think that was important as well, a call that we received a couple of minutes ago, just about teaching young girls what to expect in relationships and from boys.
Yeah, I wish someone had taught me when I was younger about boundaries and demanding respect, honestly. And that's something that young women have to navigate as well.
Here's what you're waking up to, Adelaide.
In the news today.
Breaking news.
What's in the news today?
Your post-snooze news.
Getting up, going to the gym, going to work, coming home from work, whatever it is, you need to know the news that has happened over the last 12 to 24 hours. Abby, in the newsroom, what you got?
Yeah, so the big talking point today, and why would it not be, the future of Wang Wang and Fooni.
Wong Wong.
Sorry?
Wong Wong.
Wong Wong, sorry, and Fooni.
Sorry, it's Wing Wing.
What did I say? Oh, sorry, yeah. So they are obviously at the Adelaide Zoo. They've been here since 2009, and basically we bought them over because we wanted little babies.
And has that happened?
Unfortunately, it has not. There's been lots of fake pregnancies apparently, but nothing that's stuck. So that's not too good. In answer to your question, Fooni is the girl.
Yes.
It means lucky girl. Fooni means lucky girl in Chinese, but apparently
not so much.
No, unlucky girl more like it.
Yeah.
Hang on. I always thought it was Wang Wang.
It's Wong Wong.
Is it Wong Wong?
I thought it was Wang Wang.
I thought it was Wang Wang.
Isn't it? I don't know. Now I'm
Did he
confused.
change his name?
I've always thought it was Wong Wong.
No, because it's spelled with an A.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's pronounced Wong Wong. I'm fairly sure. 13, 20, 14, get involved in this, please.
I always thought it was Wing Wing and funny.
So she's supposed to be lucky, right? So she's the absolute opposite to that cat that they have in the shops with the arm that goes up and down, up and down, up and down. It's supposed to be lucky as well. That's not Wong Wong.
But China's premier will visit Adelaide Zoo as part of a 4-day trip to Australia. They are expected to stay despite obviously failing to successfully breed. So we are meant to continue having them. But we'll wait and see what happens after this weekend.
All right, producer Emily, what do you got?
According to Wikipedia, our source for all news, in 2009, Mandarin speakers emailed an Adelaide television station arguing that the name was pronounced Wong Wong. Yes. This pronunciation is favoured by the Adelaide Chinese community. Wong wong.
There you
Look
go.
at you go, Jodes. You got one.
Unless it was Jody that quickly edited the Wikipedia article just then.
I
Who knows?
wouldn't put it past her.
Oh, my God.
I was the one that called in. Said on behalf of the Chinese community,
Very slick by you.
I'd like to say it's Wong Wong.
Well, we Australianise everything, don't we?
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's a problem as well. That's Fernie was getting called Wang Wang
Yes.
the whole time. It was
Yes.
very off-putting from her.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they can do a lot to your dysfunction if you're. Anyway,
100%.
Panda. What about this overseas now? Elon Musk has pulled a bit of a Willy Wonka and is inviting 15 winners to see his Tesla factory. Okay, as we said this morning, 15 go in. How many come out, Abs?
How many will fall into the big chocolate / Tesla?
Tesla abyss.
Yeah.
Goodness. I mean, is that something you'd aspire to go and do? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I just sort of wonder if Elon Musk was having a bath and then he got out, if he would consume the water that's still in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A real I drink my own bath water type
He
operator, I would
is
say.
that kind of guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
They
I'm
reckon-
off him because he won't clean up his X or Twitter or whatever it is. These guys take absolutely no responsibility for the absolute carnage and chaos that's going on online.
And now adult content is being allowed on there.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Apparently he's giving, golden tickets to his shareholders, but they have to submit proof of their share ownership before they're allowed to give the golden ticket
Doesn't
out.
sound like a chocolate factory to me at all.
Yeah, that's not the sort of Willy Wonka type style that I'm looking for.
I reckon I would want to go because he would be crazy, and they would. But in saying that, there would be some pretty cool perks you'd think in that office.
Oh yeah.
You know, like we have the table tennis table and we have the basketball machine and things like that. You'd want to see what they get to do.
Greggy went to the Google office.
Oh, really?
In the States,
That would
yeah.
have been impressive.
Yeah, he said it was incredible. And it's everything you see in the movies, with those fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know, like in Vegas, and I saw it briefly on Instagram.
Here we
so I'm
go.
not sure if
Here we go.
it's 100%
Go on then.
sure or not.
He saw it
There's
on
like-
Wikipedia.
There's like an underground tunnel system that you can go down if you're a Tesla driver.
What?
Where you can beat traffic and things like that. Please don't quote me on this. I saw it briefly. All right, I'm not sure if it's 100% legit. But can you do some research for me, Abs?
No, don't make her do research on something that you've just totally fabricated.
Well, she's the news person.
That's ridiculous.
The news person.
She's typing away. We'll get back to you on that one.
Oh, Elon Musk Tesla's in Tunnels project is still, okay, so it hasn't actually been built, but that's what he wants to do.
Oh.
So it's just an idea.
Oh no, but hang on. The city has approved it.
Right.
Oh,
Interesting.
Don't tell me I was seeing the 3D animation and believing it was real, was I?
Okay.
It looks like the run-of-your-mill underground parking garage. The first passenger station in the Vegas Loop. Well, there you go.
See, I knew I didn't dream it.
Abs.
That's new for you, isn't it?
Do the tunnels exist?
Well, not yet, but
Yeah.
they will.
But it's in the process.
It's like when I say, I don't have a husband, but it will exist one
Yeah,
day.
exactly.
It's a manifestation.
There you go. Let's talk about Ed Sheeran. What a beautiful, perfect human Ed Sheeran is.
Gorgeous man.
And it extends as far as his phone use.
Oh.
Because it's everyone's kryptonite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just how much we're on our phones. Ed Sheeran has revealed that he hasn't used the phone since 2015.
What?
All right, oh, hero. Too perfect now, Ed.
Yeah.
He admitted that when he got famous, he had as many as 10,000 contacts in his phone. It was just a little bit too clouded. It was a little bit too jaded. And he thought, you know what? It's too hard keeping in touch with everyone. I'm just going to ditch the phone.
10,000 contacts.
Yeah. Here's the kicker, though.
Yep.
When you're that famous and you're that rich, he's probably got a personal assistant who probably does that sort of communication for him.
And who probably has 6 phones and a BlackBerry.
Yeah, 100%. No one has Blackberries anymore, but like the Japan along.
No, are you? Personal assistants do. All personal assistants.
Blackberries?
Yeah.
No one's got Blackberries.
Okay.
What else? Are you rocking a Nokia as well? Yes, Joe.
Samsung Razr flip phone.
Hello, Moto. Yes, Jones. You can do that test now as well, where it tells you exactly how much screen time you consume each and every day,
Can we just
also weekly.
Go back to Ed for just 1 second. So, what happens if his wife wants to contact him?
That's why I don't know. She probably gets hold of his assistant or something.
yeah, she gets hold of the BlackBerry.
Probably
I get
just
it.
gives the BlackBerry a bit of a buzz. Hey, what's Ed up to? Hello? Hello, Motto.
She pages him.
She sends him a fax, maybe. Take your phone
Imagine
out,
if he
Joe.
was on stage mid-concert just on the loop pedal and his pager goes off.
Yeah, and everyone's like, is that a BlackBerry? And then you just see people just leaving the concert. I'm like, that's so lame. We expected more of Ed
Oh,
Sheeran.
my goodness.
Take your phone out and tell us what sort of phone usage you've got, your daily screen time.
Oh, no. Well, I think because mine doesn't really go on lock. It's sort of on all the time.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Does this sound about right? 7 hours and 3 minutes?
Are you serious? That's extreme, isn't it?
That's about right.
7 hours and 3 minutes daily average. Oh, my.
No, but I think because it never switches off, it's just sitting there like it's sitting there and it's working, so I'm not using it. I'm
Are you
talking
rocking
to you.
a BlackBerry? What do you got there? You've got a stock standard iPhone. 7 hours and 3 minutes.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's your top website?
My top most used categories, Spotify.
Okay.
4 hours and 22 minutes. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm trying to educate myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's probably positive, I suppose.
Yeah.
Mine's 3 hours and 34, but it actually goes up and down. I reckon last week, at one stage, was about 4.5 hours.
Was it?
And my top site is Instagram.
Is Instagram.
That's disappointing.
That is shocking to me because I think you last posted in 2018.
Yeah.
So what the hell are you just like?
I'm a lurker.
You are just lurking in the shadows.
Trust me when I say this. I see absolutely everything. I know everything that's going on. I'm a part of the conversations, although I will not contribute. I know what everyone is saying.
Oh my
One of those guys.
goodness! What a creep in the corner.
Yeah. Should we go around the room? Producer Emily, what have you got?
Well, thankfully, my daily average has actually gone down 37% from last week. So at the moment, it's 3 hours and 16 minutes. Last week, it was 5 hours and 9 minutes. But I was in bed sick one of those days. So I spent a solid amount of time on Instagram. And my top two, unfortunately, are Instagram and TikTok.
TikTok as well.
I know.
You're such a solid tic-tacker.
I thought it would be the 5AA podcast. You love 5AA.
That's my third.
What about you, producer Zoe?
Well, I'm really proud of myself. I'm down 30% as well this week to 3 hours 20.
Deserves a round of applause.
Thank you.
3 hours and 20. Well done.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
Just living your life, aren't you?
Absolutely. Last week it was at 5 hours. Unfortunately, though, Instagram is my top, not too far followed by Project Makeover.
Oh.
What?
Which is essentially Candy Crush.
Oh, do the test. Jump into your settings and it has your phone usage right there. It's it can be quite revealing.
Yeah. How often are you sitting on your BlackBerry?
What the fork?
What the fork?
What the fork is happening?
What? The Fork. The Football Supporters Edition.
Yeah.
Okay, so this all came about sometimes, I don't know, if I'm bored or just really wanting to damage my mental health, I'll read the comments on, like, for example, the Port website or the Crows website after a loss, just to see if supporters are fair weather or if they're sticking by their team or just a bit of feedback.
And if they have, I don't know, maybe they've come up with,
the
solutions or
Yes.
something to fix the team.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Put them in the right path.
Yeah.
But usually what you see is, and if your phone could talk to you, it would say,
Sack the
coach! Sack him! Sack Nix! Sack Hinkley! Okay, jeez. And then what? Dunno!
Don't know. Find another one. So I read this comment and I thought it was super interesting. So it was this guy who absolutely teed off on our boy Josh Rochelle, actually, after a Crows loss.
He is our boy. We treat him like a son.
He's our boy and he's a king and he's a very nice man and doesn't deserve to be abused.
He's a king, isn't he?
Yeah. Anywho, and then people bit back and said, mate, that's a bit harsh. And he said, I pay my membership, so I deserve a decent performance from everyone. It is no different to going to a restaurant and ordering a burger that's terrible, then I can complain. And I was like, okay, that is a completely redundant argument, because if you go to a restaurant and order a burger and you don't like it, you don't march out into the kitchen and start hurling abuse at the chef, do you?
No, you don't. Well, most people don't.
No. So it just sparked, I just thought some of the things that you see at the footy are super interesting from supporters, aren't they?
Yeah.
Even on a Port page once, when I reckon it was the 7 cameras flashed into the crowd and some Port supporters were on their feet and they were They were going so nuts and so feral.
Yeah, feedback.
Yeah, and even one of the supporters online was like, I think sometimes we let ourselves down in this space.
Sometimes you let your emotions get the better of you in that space.
Producer M used to work at the Crows.
Yeah. Do you know, just before we start,
And she used to travel
Producer
overseas.
M, I feel like Producer M could be one of those supporters.
Thankfully, there is no footage or there's no images of me at the football. Before I worked at the Crows, upstairs at AA, I used to do boundary riding as well, which I used to do for Crows games, which was very hard as a very vocal supporter. So I think from doing that, I've tempered my anger a little bit.
Yes.
But the situation I wanted to talk about was at the first showdown at Adelaide Oval. So it was 2014 and it was a Port home game. So we got tickets, very lucky to get tickets up in the nosebleed. That's fine. Crows lost by, I think it was 50-something points. Not great. And we had to get the train home. So I was like, cool, we'll just leave. There's 5 minutes left in the final quarter. Let's just leave. Walking down the very, very high stairs from the nosebleed section, and I got spat on.
Oh, wow.
By a Port supporter because I was leaving early. And that was my first showdown experience. So didn't really want to go back again. But then obviously the next one was a Crows home showdown. So that was fun.
There you go. Spitting at the footy, spitting on opposition players, spitting on anything.
Spitting
really.
in general is disgusting. But also,
unless you're a rain cloud.
But also,
it's quite nice.
Port won. So it's not like. Yeah, you guys won. Why are you angry? I'm just leaving.
I'm spitting on me.
Yeah.
You would have seen some stuff.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff. 13-24-10, the What the Fork edition. What have you seen at the footy? Those outrageous things that you've seen at the footy. What about as well when you used to listen to AA and you're listening to a Crows sound? They're like, let's get to Emily Brand on the boundary now. And what have you got for us, Emily? Sack kicks! Thanks for that, Emily.
Thank you, Emily. Keep your emotions in check, Emily. Let's go to Sharon. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. What did you see, Sharon?
Well, it was, must have been 2010 or 2011 at, must have been 80 Stadium. And we used to sit in the northern end behind the goals, Port supporter.
Yep.
And, it was always freezing cold at Footy Park, as you know, or Amy Stadium.
Yep.
And I can't remember if we were playing Sydney, but it was a stockish sort of fellow, bald head, in a Sydney Guernsey.
Yep.
Old style. And he was very vocal and whatnot. And all of a sudden, he pulled out a fish.
Of course he did.
It was a fish. I can't remember what kind of fish. We were all in shock. Most of us were just falling on the floor laughing.
What?
And he waved the fish around quite vigorously.
Yeah.
I don't recall seeing him again after that, but yes, the fish. I think that is the bizarrest thing. I've seen a lot of bizarre things in football, but that would have to be the winner.
Did you discover any context behind the fish?
Hell no, we wasn't game enough to talk to him.
No, I wouldn't. If I saw a man with a fish at the football, I'd be giving it a wide berth.
Just one question. Was the fish alive or no?
Oh, no. It was a deceased fish.
Did he try? Was he trying to eat it? I've got so many questions.
I know. I couldn't. I don't think I could have talked about that. No, he was just swinging it around wildly.
I didn't ask that question because I assumed the fish, if it wasn't in water, was dead.
You never know. He could have pulled it out of a little fish bowl.
You don't know. These are the questions that need to be asked.
Thank you so much, Sharon.